Welcome to the show. I'm Danella, and here's what's happening now. In just a moment, we're going to give you an update on the situation in Puerto Rico. FEMA now hoping to move some of the residents here to the mainland. I'll let you know the plan and where they're hoping to send the residents. Also in the show, In Our World is on deck, and literally, the world literally is heating up. We're going to talk about what one prominent physicist says. He gives a timeline for when the world will explode in a fireball, and also his plan of action. But first, it's political pop. Now this week, Republicans are all buzzing about Senate candidate Roy Moore. Yes, I know you've heard about these allegations as far as him initiating a sexual encounter with a 14-year-old girl. This is decades ago. Many Republicans are now coming out since these allegations have really persisted. And they're saying that if they're true, they would like Roy to gracefully bow out. According to Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders, she says, like most Americans, the president does not believe we can allow a mere allegation, in this case, one from many years ago, to destroy a person's life. However, the president also believes that if these allegations are true, Judge Moore will do the right thing and step aside. Now, only time will tell. Are the allegations true? And if so, will Judge Moore do the right thing and step aside? And that was your political pop. Now, let's talk about the situation in Puerto Rico. We've been following this for a while. Repairs are happening there. They're making some leeway, but still very, very slow. And because of that, FEMA now wants many of the residents to head here to the mainland. They'd like the residents to go to both Florida and New York, but unfortunately, FEMA is saying they're not getting a lot of interest. In fact, they spoke with 300 families about the program. This was on Tuesday, and just 1 in 10 were interested. So here's an update. The island, still roughly 12% of the residents there still don't have water. And also, more than half of the island still remains without power. FEMA is saying that it could take about several weeks to figure out the logistics of the displaced residents, but they are hoping that some will take their offer to move the residents, to and from the island to either New York or Florida, as well as cover short-term housing. The housing would be in either hotels or motels. So that's what they're saying. 1 in 10 are saying no. Maybe they don't trust FEMA. Not really sure. But I'm going to keep following that for you. Now, just before we get into In Our World, we're going to head over to Delhi. Delhi, they're really dealing with smog and major pollution there. The pollution is so bad, it's causing the government there to make some extreme choices. Here's what they're now saying to the people. The Delhi government is using these emergency measures, hoping to reduce some of the pollution there. I don't know if you've seen any of the pictures. I mean, the streets just lined with smog. It's making visibility low. Airplanes, it's hard for airplanes to fly. It's hard for people to see in general. And you can see all the folks there covering their face to even try to breathe. Well, here's what the government is doing. They now have said no trucks are allowed to drive into the city. They've also said schools are closed. So dangerous. Children can't even go to school. And also what they've done is suspended all civil construction projects. So again, the air quality is so bad. Folks there say this happens normally around this time of year. Things contributing to the problem, crop burning. That's one of the problems there. Also exhaust. The burning of biomass, also road dust and industrial emissions. So that's the problem that they're dealing with there. And I want to remind you, if you follow Political Pop, we talked about this earlier in the week. Now, here in the U.S., we are the only state not supporting the Paris Climate Accord. We are the only ones. Syria, they were the last one holding out, but this week Syria said they plan to sign the Paris Climate Accord as soon as possible. So now we're the lone member state not agreeing to the deal. Trump said that he wants to withdraw. If he does, this will take effect in November 2020. And now we'll get smack dab into In Our World. Had to give you guys a little bit of background first, but In Our World this week, the Earth heating up. Physicist Stephen Hawking says he issues a dire warning this week saying this: we have less than 600 years before the Earth becomes a big ball of fire. Now, keep in mind, not everybody's agreeing with him. This is what his theory is, but this is the Big Bang Man, and here's what he's saying now. He's saying that we have about 600 years before the earth turns into a sizzling ball of fire. Here's why. It's because of overpopulation. That's going to increase energy consumption and pretty much kill us all. Now, here's his plan. He was at a WE summit. This was in Beijing. And this is what he pleaded to investors. He wants investors to back his plan to travel to Alpha Centauri. This is around 4 light years away. It's the closest star system to our sun. So here's what he thinks. He wants this venture to be called Breakthrough Starshot. And it'll take a tiny spacecraft. It'll travel at the speed of light. Now, what are we talking? How long is this going to take? He says that it could reach Pluto in days. It could pass the Voyager in under a week. And it could reach the Alpha Centauri in just over 20 years. But the hope is, in his plan, is that you get a team there, right? It takes about 20 years for them to get there. But then hopefully they can first find and, set up inhabitable land for other Earthlings. That's his plan. I want to bring up this other thing. We talked about this this summer. Let's not forget, the United Arab Emirates launched a plan to inhabit Mars. This is by 2117. They're planning right now to set up a colony on Mars so folks can live there by 2117. So here's why I'm bringing this up. One, because we need to know what people are talking about. But two, I'm bringing it up to say, well, what are our future generations going to do, right? What are our kids generations out going to do? Because to me, the easiest solution would be to lower our carbon emission, to reduce, our carbon footprint, to really invest in healthier energy. To me, that's the solution. Many talk about overpopulation is also a problem. There's tons of things we as Earth can do to try. We're 600 years out, right? That seems like a long time. So there's no systems or plans in place so that people, I don't know. I'm not at a place right now that I can afford a spaceship. I'm just saying, because sometimes you got to keep it real. I don't know about you, but chances are you might not be at a place right now. My hope is, in the meantime, for my future generations to either generate enough wealth so that I can have my own spaceship, right? I don't want that to be the solution. I really would like to stay on Earth and have Earth be inhabitable. But, or that I can secure some tickets, for me, some of my friends, you want to come? Got to get on board. We'll get some tickets on a friend's spaceship so we can get off this planet Earth. But anyway, I wanted to bring it up for in our world because a lot of times I just think, please, even myself, we get so caught in the day-to-day of our life. We don't really think about future generations and the people who have to live here after us, A lot of times our mentality isn't that way. We think, you live in a place, if the place gets bad, you leave. The same thing happened to me and my family. I started out in Southeast Washington, D.C., and my mom always moved us around. Anytime the neighborhood got bad, we didn't stay and fight, make the neighborhood better. She was like, pack up your stuff, we're moving. Even in the middle of a school year, we moved so fast, man. 4 elementaries, 2 middle schools, 2 high schools. We were moving. I used to joke we're in the mob. We're not, but we moved all the time. And I just think you can see so many people having that. People with affluency, this man saying, back my plan, get cats off this planet, to investors. And so it's just something to think about because we so often get caught in our everyday life that we don't really think about, the future and what's next. But again, that's the purpose of this show, DanellaNOW, transparency and just give you the information that's out there. So here's what they're talking about. My question is, what we gonna do? You can leave it in my comment section so that when our kids, maybe they'll have a solution for us, the folks that aren't the investors in these private space programs to get private folks off of Earth. Yeah, so... that wraps up in our world. Before I get out of here, I want to talk to you. Thank you so much for those of you who were kind enough to send me happy birthday wishes. It was a great birthday. But can I just say, I am totally a woman of a specific age. I guess that's what they're trying to say. But here's why. This is the first time in my life that I have not received a text message or a phone call at midnight. Literally. I don't know if you guys are at that age where it's, it hits midnight and your friends will send a text message, hey, happy birthday, or a phone call or something. And I remember Thursday night, because my birthday was Friday, right? Friday. So I remember Thursday night, I was up late, just working on a project. And I was up probably till about 1 a.m. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder if somebody's going to call. I better work downstairs. I don't want to wake up the house, wake up the baby. And then I was thinking, I hope somebody doesn't call because I'm so tired. I really want to finish this project. And then it really hit me, dude, I'm like a legit adult. It should have hit me like, I don't know, a decade ago, but no. Like, I think now I am legit adult. Legit adult. So yeah, thank you for the birthday wishes. So blessed to have another year. Thank you for joining the show. Have an incredible weekend, and I will see you